Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. My name is Sitapati Danna.
And my name is Danna Devi.
And today's episode is sponsored by Kathmandu and Adidas. No, not really, but anyway. You can see those logos. We didn't scrub them. It's not generics. All right, today we are doing Bhagavad-gita, the Song of God as it is by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, first edition, the True School. Chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text number
18.
18. Here we go. Karmaṇya paśyed, akarmaṇi cha karmayaha, sa buddhimān manuṣyeṣu, sa yuktaḥ kṛtsna-karma-kṛt. You can see it?
No traje mis lentes, pero puedo leer allá.
Okay. Karmaṇi.
In action.
Akarma.
Inaction.
Yaha.
One who.
Paśyet.
Observes.
Akarmaṇi.
In inaction.
Cha.
Also.
Karma.
Fruitive action.
Yaha.
One who.
Saha.
He.
Buddhimān.
Is intelligent.
Like buddhimān, huh?
Yeah.
manuṣyeṣu.
In human society.
Saha.
He.
Yuktaḥ.
Is in the transcendental position.
kṛtsna-karma-kṛt.
Although engaged in all activities.
Boom. Translation. I'll do the translation, you do the purport, eh?
Okay.
Yeah. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Take it away, Danna Devi.
Okay. A person acting in Kṛṣṇa consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. His activities are all performed for Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, he does not enjoy or suffer any of the effects of work.
True.
Consequently, he is intelligent in human society, even though he is engaged in all sorts of activities for Kṛṣṇa. Akarma means without reaction to work. The impersonalist ceases fruitive activities out of fear, so that the resultant action may not be a stumbling block on the path of self-realization. But the personalist knows rightly his position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he engages himself in the activities of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, because everything is done for Kṛṣṇa. He enjoys only transcendental happiness in the discharge of his service. Those who are engaged in this process are known to be without desire for personal sense gratification. The sense of eternal servitorship to Kṛṣṇa makes one immune to all sorts of reactionary elements of work.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So, I don't think there are any changes, actually. This reckons transcendental, but it's not misspelt in the original. 418. Check. The hard copy. 418. No, transcendental is correctly spelt, so somehow that looks like that E rather than an S is some kind of like, I don't know, optical character recognition. Anyway, it's not accurate. But nothing, no changes.
That's incredible.
Huh. Yeah. There's some changes to the word here, like buddhimān has been, man means I think one who possesses, right? Shaktiman. But that's about it. Nada. Okay. Let's go to the verse itself, eh? Well, let's have a look at Prabhupada's. One who sees inaction in inaction, and action in inaction is the intelligent member of the human society, and he is in transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Beautiful. this is great because the English
Mhm.
and the Sanskrit capture what's going on here.
Mhm.
See, in Sanskrit, it says karmaṇya paśyed akarmaṇi karmaṇi.
Mhm.
He who sees, he, paśyed, who sees, karmaṇi akarma, akarmaṇi karmaṇi. Karmaṇi akarma, akarmaṇi karma. One who sees,
Es como una trabalengua.
it is, yeah, a tongue twister. And then you see here in English, one who sees inaction in action and action in inaction.
Mhm.
Because here, this in as a prefix, when it's compounded with the noun,
Mhm.
it has a significance of like akarma or like atheist. A theist means one who believes in God. An atheist, one who believes there is no God. Right?
Mhm.
So the a in front in Greek means not.
Activo, inactivo.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the Latin version of the
Mhm.
same thing. Activo, inactivo, active, inactive. But then also the preposition in
Mhm.
has the same sound. It has the same letters in it, but it's a different part of speech. It's a preposition.
Mhm.
And it has a completely different semantic meaning. But the juxtaposition or the placing next to each other of the prefix in action and the preposition in action. So you say one who sees action, noun, in preposition, inaction, noun, inverse of action, and inaction, in action. And to your ear, you can't tell what's being said.
Mhm.
One who sees action in inaction and inaction, inaction. Like,
Mm.
what? But it's beautiful because it captures what's happening in the Sanskrit, which is the same thing. Karmaṇya paśyet, akarmaṇi karmaṇi. Now, it's slightly different what's happening in the Sanskrit.
Mm.
But basically what's happening here is that what's being said here is it's like this is like a comedy. This is actually a comedy here, which can be missed, but it's a comedy which causes like a confusion
Mhm.
for Arjuna. So I want to show you this video. So I'm going to change this. We'll play it in the stream.
I see.
This
That
is
a
the surprise. Yep, that I said that we were going to. So Brave tab, and then it's this one here. So I share this tab, and then people will be able to hear it as we play it. So we'll go here. I'll mute this tab.
Didn't we expect him, did you? Now he always shapes up now.
But we can't hear it. So hang on. How do I fix this? Somehow my headphones have become connected. Well, let's put our headphones on so we can keep that goes into that ear.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we can keep
Mhm.
talking while we're playing it, so we can watch it over here. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Friends, I told you that my partner would be here, and here he is. Didn't we expect him, did you? Now he always shapes up. Now, why not let the folks themselves ask for something that they like to hear?
All right, what would they like to hear? I'll do
Something different. Now,
Okay.
is there anything special that you would like to hear us do?
it. Baseball.
No. Wait a minute, friends. You don't want to hear that, do you?
Yeah, we got the props for you here. Oh, you came prepared, didn't you?
All set, huh? Well, this is a must. I guess it's a must. We've got to do it. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me see. It looks all right.
Okay, oh
Now,
boy.
we'll pretend. All right, I'll take it easy with that. We'll just pretend that we're organizing a baseball team here at the retired actors' home. And I am the manager. Now,
You're going to be the manager of the retired actors baseball team?
yes.
I would like to join the retired actors baseball team.
Oh, you would?
And I would like to know some of the guys' names on the team, so if I want to play with them, I know them, and I meet them on the street or in the home here, I can say hello to them.
Oh, sure. But you know they give baseball players nowadays very peculiar names.
You know, a lot of funny names.
You know, like Stinky
Nicknames.
Fields,
Sticky Field.
Goofy Dan,
Boopy Barber.
Booby Bobber.
I know all those names.
Well, let's see now. We have on our team, we have who's on first. What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
That's what I want to find
And
out, the guy's name.
And then,
That's what I want to find out, the guy's name.
I'm telling you, who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
Now, Abby, you
Now-
going to be the manager of the baseball team?
Yes.
You know the guy's names?
Well, I should.
Well, you tell me the guy's names on the baseball
I
team.
say, who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
You ain't saying nothing to me yet. Go ahead and tell me.
I'm telling him.
You ain't
Look,
said nothing yet. Go ahead and tell me.
who's on first? What's on second? I don't know is on third.
You know the guy's names on the baseball team?
Yes.
Well, go ahead. Who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the guy's name.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? I don't know.
Now, wait a minute.
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's his name.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first.
That's it. That's his name.
Well, you ain't said nothing. I ain't asked you nothing.
You did.
You know the guy's name on first base? Well,
Sure.
tell me the guy's name on first base.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who is on first, Lou?
What are you asking me
Now,
for?
don't get excited. I'm saying who.
I'm asking you a simple question. Who's on first?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who? I'm asking you, what's the guy's name on first base?
Oh, no. What's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
One base at a time.
Don't mix up my.
I'm not mixing up anybody. Now, what's the guy's name on first base?
Now, what is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
He's on third. We're not talking.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
No, well, that's not.
Whoa. How did I get on third base?
You mentioned his name.
I mentioned his name.
Yes.
I don't know anybody's name on the team. How could I mention a guy's name?
You did. You just mentioned it.
All right, what's the guy's name on third base?
No, what's on second?
Who's on second?
Who's on first?
I don't know.
He's on first.
I didn't even mention a guy's name on third base.
Yes, you did.
All right, then who's playing third base?
No, who's on first?
I'm not asking you what's on first.
What's on second?
Who's on second?
Who's on first?
I don't know. He's third base. Third base. I don't know anybody on the baseball team.
You do. You mentioned their names.
I do?
Sure.
You got an outfield?
Naturally.
Tell that fielder's name.
Why?
I just thought I'd ask you. I just thought I'd ask you.
Well, I just thought I'd tell you.
Well, go ahead. Tell me.
Tell you what.
Tell the fielder's name.
Why?
Because I want to know. Because.
Oh, he's center field. You know these players as well as
Who's
I.
in center field?
No, who's on first?
What's on first?
What's on second?
I don't know. Third base. Do you know the guy's names on the team?
Look, Louis, you don't seem to understand. See, I have a first baseman.
I know you got a first.
Gets his-
I asked you what's the first. I asked you what's the first baseman's name.
No, what's the second baseman?
I'm going to stop asking you. So I asked you what's the first baseman's name.
What's the second baseman?
I don't even get past the. All right, who's on second?
Who's on first?
What base do you want to talk
You
about?
talk about anyone you want to talk about.
All right, now who's on first?
Right.
Okay.
No.
All right, you got a first baseman. When you pay off the first baseman every month, who gets the money?
Every dollar of it. Every dollar of it.
Who gets it?
He does. Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yes. Why not, Lou? He's earned it.
Who did?
Yes.
Look, when you pay off the first baseman every month, you get a receipt from the guy?
Sure.
How does he sign his name?
Who?
The guy you give the money to.
Who?
The guy you give the money to.
Well, that's how he signs it.
That's
Lou.
how who signs it?
Yes.
Go ahead, tell me.
That's it.
Who? Look, you go to first baseman,
So
Yes.
confusing.
and you say to him, here's your money, sign the receipt. How does he sign his name?
Who?
The guy you give the money to.
That's how he signs it.
That's how who signs it?
Yes.
Sure. You gotta get a receipt from the guy, don't you?
Get one, Lou.
How does the guy on first base sign his name?
Who?
The guy on first.
That's how he signs it.
I'm asking, when you give the guy the money, what's the guy's name that you give the money to?
Now, wait a minute. What signs his own?
Who signs his own?
No, who signs his?
I mean, what's the guy's name on first you give the...
What is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know. Third base.
The last name is
Fielder's name,
who?
the center field. I don't
His
know
name
if
is
I'm
who?
a pitcher on a team.
It's be a fine team without a pitcher.
It's a fine team. The pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me the day?
I can't change that
You
name.
don't want to tell me the day?
I'm telling you.
Go ahead. Tell me the pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
Why not tell me today? I ain't gonna wait
telling
till
you.
tomorrow. Then tell me the pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
All right. What time tomorrow you tell me the pitcher's name?
What time what?
What time tomorrow you gonna tell me who's pitching?
Who is not pitching?
I'll break you around. You say who's on first. I want to know what's the pitcher's name.
What's on second?
I don't know. Third base. Third base. Third base. You got to catch it.
Certainly you've got a catcher on a baseball team.
Catcher's name.
Today.
Today. Tomorrow's pitching, today's catcher.
Now you've got it.
Now I got it. All I got, we got a couple of days on the team, that's all.
I can't help that, Lou. I don't.
You know, I'm a pretty good catcher myself.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, now I get behind the plate and I'm going to do some fancy catching, and tomorrow's pitching on my team, right?
Yeah.
Now tomorrow he winds up the ball and I'm behind the plate and the heavy hitter gets up.
Yeah.
Now the heavy hitter gets up and he's ready to hit the ball, and tomorrow's going to throw the ball. I'm the catcher. Now when tomorrow throws the ball, the guy up bunts the ball. Now when he bunts the ball, me being a good catcher, I'm going to throw the guy out of first base, so I pick up the ball and throw it to who?
Now that's the first thing you've said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Because that's all you have to do.
It's to throw the ball at first base.
Yeah.
Now who's got it?
Naturally.
Sure. Look, the guy is running at first base, but I want to throw the guy out. So I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Throw it to who?
Naturally.
And who's got it?
Naturally.
Huh. So I pick up the ball and I throw it to Natural.
No. You throw the ball to first base, then who gets it?
Natural.
That's it. Now you got it.
Same thing. I pick up the ball, so I throw it to Natural.
You don't.
I throw it to who?
Natural.
That's what I'm saying.
Saying that.
I said I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
You asked me.
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally. Same as you.
Say it that
I
way.
throw the ball to Natural.
You don't. You throw it to who?
Now who's got it? Naturally. That's what I said. Whoever it is better get it. That's all I
Get it.
can
Don't worry about who. Who'll get it? Yeah.
He better get it. Now.
So you get the idea, right?
So confusing. The guy doesn't get it. That his last name is who? I mean, his name is
His name is who, and what's the name of the guy on the second base?
what?
And what's the name of the guy on the third base?
Third. No? Base?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's why he says, who's on first? He's like, yeah, that's right. He's like, well, what's on second? And he's like, yep. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, yeah. He's like, who's from third? And the guy, he says, no, who's on first? He's like, that's what I'm trying to ask you. So there's an overload, semantic overload between the terms. So this guy is using the word who. If I go here, I don't know which one's Abbott and which one's Costello.
I think I don't know.
Yeah. Who?
Who? I don't know.
But the fat guy, and there's the fat guy and the skinny guy. The fat guy is using the word who as a, what is it? It's an interrogative, like a pronoun or a, let's ask ChatGPT what it is. So I'll stop the screen, we'll present another one. Share screen, window, share this one. If we go here to ChatGPT, let's go on this new chat here. And if I say, what part of speech is pronoun? Yeah, an interrogative pronoun. I got it right. So he's using it as an interrogative pronoun, but the other guy is using it as a noun. Yeah. Let's ask ChatGPT this. Are you familiar with Abbott and Costello's who's on first? Who's on fire? Yes, I'm familiar. It'll give some kind of a classic comedic sketch that plays on the confusion between players' names and common interrogative pronouns. In the routine, Abbott tries to explain to Costello, so Costello's the fat guy, the names of players on a baseball team. However, the players have names like who, what, and I don't know. This leads to a series of misunderstandings and comedic exchanges such as Abbott, the first baseman is who? Costello, that's what I'm trying to find out. The humor lies in the back and forth misunderstandings as Costello becomes increasingly frustrated while Abbott believes he is providing clear answers. This routine is a masterclass in wordplay and has been celebrated for decades as one of the finest examples of American comedy. Yeah, it's like an absolute classic. Okay, so let's ask this. Are you familiar with Bhagavad-gita 4:18 and the confusion that this causes for Arjuna? Okay, so the Bhagavad-gita, it's a 700-verse part of Mahabharata, dialogue between Prince Arjuna and Kṛṣṇa, who's God. In chapter 4, verse 18, Kṛṣṇa says with slight variations, one who sees inaction, 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 and inaction is intelligent among men who's in a transcendental position, will engage in all kinds of
Becoming
work.
very familiar with the Gita.
Yeah. Arjuna's confusion arises because he's faced with the moral dilemma of going to battle against his own relatives and revealed elders. Yeah, but that's not it here. I'm going to see if I can get this thing to see it. Okay. Now, can you see a parallel between who's on first and the language used in 418? Linguistic ambiguity. In Who's on First, the humor arises from the use of words that serve both as proper nouns, names of the players, and as interrogative pronouns. The word who is both a question and an answer, creating confusion. In Bhagavad-gita 4:18, there's an inherent play on words between action, karma, and inaction, akarma. The verse introduces a paradox where action can be seen as inaction and vice versa, depending on the consciousness and attachment behind it. Confusion leading to insight. While Who's on First remains in the realm of comedic confusion without a resolution, it does highlight how language can be a source of misunderstanding. Bhagavad Gita's verse, on the other hand, uses the apparent confusion to lead the reader or Arjuna towards a deeper understanding of duty and selfless action. The confusion serves a purpose to encourage introspection and transcendental insight. We'll be able to get that teleprompter here and read into the camera.
Right.
Challenges in communication. Abbott faces a challenge in communicating to Costello the simple lineup of the baseball team due to the name's inherent ambiguity. Kṛṣṇa in the Bhagavad Gita is tasked with conveying profound spiritual truths to Arjuna using language that sometimes employs paradoxes or counterintuitive ideas to encourage deeper understanding. In summary, while the contexts and intents are different, both Who's on First and Bhagavad Gita 4:18 utilize linguistic ambiguity and play on words. The former results in comedic misunderstanding, while the latter leverages the ambiguity to convey profound philosophical insights. It's an interesting observation to draw a parallel between the two seemingly disparate pieces based on their use of language. Well, thank you. Thank you. I believe that is my personal unique contribution by the grace of Kṛṣṇa to the Parampara. I've never heard anyone else draw that parallel before. But it's definitely visible here in both the Sanskrit, where it says karma, akarma, and then in this here, inaction, inaction, and action and inaction. It's like, isn't it just like Abbott and Costello? One who sees inaction, inaction, and action and inaction, and then Arjuna actually responds. He's like, "Why are you telling me to like fight in this thing? If you say that inaction is better than action, you know?" And part of this arises because what is being expressed in the language here is something that is counter to the construction of the language itself, because you know that from the Landmark Advanced course, worlds create words, right? Do you know who that's a quote of? Actually, that's not actually in the Landmark Advanced course. You know who said words create worlds?
No.
Okay, let's ask here. Who said words create worlds?
Basically, everything exists only in words.
Okay, often attributed to Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel,
Who's that? Sounds very Abraham.
a Jewish theologian and philosopher in the 20th century. Although if I Google it, it's going to tell me this. Let's see, quote. It's been attributed to philosophers including Heschel and Wittgenstein. Yeah, okay. Heschel. Anyway, so, well, the thing about that is that as human beings, we live in language. You know, that's why this whole thing around pronouns, around what is a woman, like cause so much confusion for people, because Confucius called it the rectification of names. Hang on.
What's he gonna have?
Yeah. Give a short dissertation on Confucius. The rectification of names. The rectification of names, a brief dissertation on Confucius' philosophical concept. There's an introduction about Confucius. The rectification of names, Zhengming. This doctrine emphasizes the critical importance of language and its correct usage in maintaining social harmony and order. In the Analects, Confucius asserts, if names be not correct, language is not in accordance with the truth of things. If language not be in accordance with the truth of things, affairs cannot be carried on to success. This statement underscores the fundamental relationship between language, names in this context, truth, and the effective functioning of society. Implications and significance, social order. At the heart of the rectification of names is the idea that society functions properly when things and actions align with their designated names. For instance, if someone is called a leader, they should exhibit leadership qualities and carry out leadership duties. Any discrepancy between name and actual function can lead to societal disorder. Moral implications. Beyond just societal functioning, there's a moral dimension to this doctrine. If a ruler doesn't rule justly, he shouldn't be called a ruler. By adhering to the proper naming, one can ensure not only societal, but also moral order. So this is kind of like the Dvija and the Dvija Bandhu, right? The twice-born and the friends of the twice-born. Because Ashvatthama did not act according to the guna and the karma, the qualities and activities of a brahmana, even though he was the son of a brahmana, it was like he is not really a brahmana. Not by birth, but by qualities and activities. He's a Dvija Bandhu, a relative of a twice-born. Language and reality. Confucius recognized the power of language in shaping perceptions and, by extension, reality. Names in this context are not just arbitrary labels, they carry weight and have implications for behavior and societal expectations. It goes even further than this. In, I think, Russia or somewhere around there, they have a distinction between two different shades of blue. Somewhere in the Slavic region. And so they have two different words, right? So what we call blue is a spectrum between light blue to dark blue, right? But then it goes into purple, which is a different color.
Which has blue.
Yeah, but you know, it's like you and I sometimes disagree about the color of things, you know, is it green or is it blue or is it gray or is it black, you know? But in this language, they have two different words for these different shades of blue, and they did an experiment with people, showing them shades, and they had to say whether it was blue or not blue or something like that, or what color it was. And what they found was that the reaction time for these people who speak this language is faster, because when people see like two different colors that are completely different, then they can just say, you know, different, whatever like that, right? And then when they have to distinguish between different shades, they have a different reaction time. But they found that the reaction time for the people whose language distinguishes between the two different shades of blue is faster, and it's the same as for different colors. Whereas for people whose language doesn't encode those two shades of blue, their reaction time is slower. So it actually, it shapes their psychological perception of the world to the extent where their reaction timing is, they exist for those people as different colors, which demonstrates that different colors are actually exist in language for human beings. Okay, so back to here, contemporary relevance. Today, the rectification of names has broader implications in a world saturated with information and often plagued with misinformation. The importance of clear, truthful communication where words align with reality is as relevant now as it was in Confucius's time. So you got two things here. You've got like the leader should be a leader, right? But what if there's a role that we don't have a word for?
Wait, there's no word to say it.
There's no word to say it. Like, it's one thing if like you're meant to be the leader and you're not being the leader. But what if there's not even a word to say what the thing is? Well, it doesn't exist. So what cannot be named doesn't exist.
Well, I guess the thing these days is what is happening is like they're creating new words, new labels.
Right?
Yeah,
because they're creating a new reality.
Yeah, to create a new reality.
Exactly.
So that means people can continue creating and make it so confusing.
Yes. So the difficulty or the challenge, the misunderstanding here arises in in English, I explained it. It's the juxtaposition of the preposition in and the prefix meaning a negatory prefix in. So inaction, in action, and action in inaction. So it turns it into what you call it a trabalengua, a tongue twister, right? So that's
not only a tongue twister, also is a brain burning.
Yes.
Intellectual what would you call it?
Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah, an intellectual challenge, a puzzle. Now, the Sanskrit one takes place because in Sanskrit, there's no word for the word. In English, you have to say, and you can say something like, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? But that's because reaction and action in English are two different words. In Sanskrit, it's one word that means both. The word karma means both an action and the reaction.
Yeah.
So the idea that every action has a reaction is just like baked into the language. And so for you to say that every action has a reaction, every time you say action, you are saying that. So a language is actually a theory of reality. Every time you say an action and a reaction. Now, the difficulty here comes about because what Kṛṣṇa is expressing here can't be expressed in this language like this. If you have a look at this word here, see akarma, see the two different meanings that are given here. Can you see them?
Yeah. Inaction. Freedom from fruitive results. Inaction.
Yeah.
So basically you don't have karma.
Yeah, but what does that mean? If you look at these two things here.
No reaction.
Yeah, but that's in English. You see how it's these two different things here they're not the same thing.
No, freedom and inaction.
But in Sanskrit, they are the same thing. You can't say no reaction without saying
action.
No action. Because the word for reaction and the word for action is the same word. You can't split them apart. So as soon as Kṛṣṇa tries to explain to Arjuna, there is a thing that is an action without a reaction, what he says as he speaks it is indistinguishable from there is an action that is no action. And then there is a no action that is an action. And it's like, what? Because he's trying to say to him, there is action that you can perform that has no reaction. And there is like no actions that you take that will have a reaction. But reaction and action is the same word. So it's impossible for him to express it in a way that's comprehensible. So it's a complete mind bender.
Yeah, it is.
As he says this. And this leads to Arjuna's confusion, which comes about, chapter 4. Kim kṛtsna-karma-kṛt kavyo pyatra mohita. That's 416. And so, let's have a look. See, it builds into this question here at the beginning of the 5th chapter. First of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again, you recommend work with devotion. I have one. It's a bit slow to get in there. Sannyasam karmanam Kṛṣṇa. Sannyasam karmanam, renouncing work. Mute. There we go.
Okay.
So yeah, there you go. The tongue twister of 418, which is it's a beautiful piece of writing. It's like it's the entire Abbott and Costello routine
Mm-hmm.
in a single sutra. It's a comedy. 418 is a comedy in a sutra.
Mm.
And it deeply reveals something. It reveals something about language, the nature of language, the nature of the Sanskrit language,
Mm-hmm.
the nature of reality, and a very profound truth.
Yeah, the first time that I read that, I was like, what does it mean? It took me a while. And now when I read it, like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. A person acting in
Mhm.
Kṛṣṇa consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. He's free from the reaction. It doesn't mean, though, that he does no karma, no action. His activities are all performed for Kṛṣṇa, therefore he does not enjoy or suffer any of the effects. Akarma means without reaction to work. The impersonalist ceases activities out of fear, fruitive activities.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes one immune to all sorts of reactionary elements of work, which is the sense here of freedom from fruitive results. Fruitive action. It's such a deep point in the way that it's expressed in here is karmaṇy karma-ya paśyed akarmaṇi cha karma-ya.
Well, yeah, it like if you think or meditate about it, it's like so many realizations will come out of it. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Tama Krishna's was watching. Those guys must be on speed. Funny as Abbott's a tall, fat guy. It was amazing how fast they did it, and riffed on it. Okay, sorry. Make that point again, please, honey. I missed it.
If you meditate in this verse,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of realizations that come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said before, it's like intellectually challenging,
stimulating,
or gymnastic. It creates a lot of work in the mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, that's all I want to say.
There you go. It's a little comedy surprise for you. Okay, let's go to the Māori.
Oh, yeah, Māori as well.
Yeah, it's fast. Translate. Get it to Māori. 418. Well, this is going to be interesting to see how this concept translates into Te Reo Māori, no? Here's the verse 418.
And how it even in different languages, it changes the whole meaning.
Mm-hmm. Ko te tanga. Ko te tangata ka kite I te kore mahi, I roto I te mahi. Me te mahi I roto I te kore mahi. So kore mahi, it must mean like not working. Not working and working. Mahi. He atamai I wainganui. Ina wainganui. Wainganui. I ngā tangata a kei te tūranga whakawhiti, aha koa kei roto I ngā mahi katoa. Ko is te tangata, person ka kite. Oh yeah, ka kite. Ka kite anō. I'll see you later. Ka kite anō. I used to watch this this program called After School. And it was on after school. I think it started at 3:45. And it was run by Ollie Olsen, and he used to say "kakite ano" at the end. And his other thing he said was "keep cool till after school," and he would do it with sign language. Ite kore mahi, inaction or non-activity. Iroto, inside. Ite mahi. Me te mahi iroto I te kore mahi. Within the inaction. He is atamai, intelligent or wise. I wainganui, among or
between it.
amidst. Interesting. Wainganui. Ina tangata, among people. Kei te tūranga whakawhiti, aha kua kei roto I ngā mahi katoa, and resides the position transcendental, even though engaged in all works. Well, let's see what.
Quite kind of close.
Yeah, it's very similar to the English, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll just do one thing here. I'll punch this into Google Translate and see what it says. The person who sees non-work in work and work in non-work is intelligent among people and is in a transitional position, even in all activities.
France.
Damn, that's a very good translation, hey?
Mm.
That's a good translation, that one. Well done, Chat
Who says
GPT.
non-work in work?
Yeah. Kore mahi, iroto mahi. Iroto ite mahi. In.
There's a lot of like
Side.
vocals spread. Vocales spread.
Yep.
It's gonna breaking all the time.
Vowels.
Vowels, yeah, los vocales.
Mm-hmm.
Ite core, ite roto, ite mahi, mete mahi, I roto, ite core. Ite turanga o wakafiti a hakoa kei roto I nagamaki katoa. It's like blah, mouthful.
It says that my computer is going to restart. Wah. Okay.
Okay, maybe before it restarts.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Karmaṇya paśyed karmaṇi karma buddhimān manuṣyeṣu sa yuktaḥ kṛtsna-karma-kṛt.
One who sees inaction, inaction, and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in a transcendental position, although engaged.
Total world victory of Hare Krishna. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, tomorrow.